Now, you remember we covered this guy, right? So this guy's name was Paul Mason, and he got exposed through some leaked emails where he was trying to shut down anti-war. Now, he pretends he's a lefty, but he's not. He's an infiltrator. And what he does is he calls everybody a Russian. He shuts down any people who are telling the truth about war, foreign policy, but especially any war. He's trying to smear them, discredit them, and now even take away their funding. And an email revealed that he was doing this. Here's one of the emails, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this again. So this is his email to try to get people to. This is he's telling his plan to shut down anti-war voices, and he says we should combine it with relentless deplatforming, deplatforming, as with PayPal, Compendium, and Mint Press, and a kind of permanent. So that he's taking credit for PayPal took away the ability for Mint Press to use the PayPal service, and he's saying they should do this to Gray Zone too, right? And so he's setting it all up. So turns out this guy's on a banning spree. So this guy here, Wyatt Reed, he says whether he's justifying his witch hunt on anti-imperialists or the Western-backed massacres of Yemeni civilians by Saudi Arabia, Paul Mason News always seems to return to the same line of defense. Accuse anyone who opposes him of spouting Putin talking points. No, I watched that video, and he did. This guy brought up Yemen. He goes, that's a Putin talking point. That's a Russian propaganda. So that guy tweeted this out. Wyatt Reed, he's going, look at this guy. The next less than 24 hours have passed since my first ever criticism of Paul Mason, and I was just permanently banned from PayPal as well. So they already did it to Mint Press. We covered it here, and now they did it to that guy as soon as he said something. And here's what they give you. After a review of your account activity, we've determined that you're in violation of PayPal's acceptable use policy, so they don't ever tell you what they did. They're never going to tell him what he did. You're just in violation of our policies. They don't say what the policy is. They don't say what they did, but it comes from that guy, Paul Mason, who works together with intelligence communities to get anti-war voices discredited, smeared, and now deplatformed, and their monetization ability taken away. He says it's becoming clear there's a concerted campaign of economic attacks against journalists who push back against the mainstream media narrative on Ukraine. Mere hours after PayPal ban, another critical media voice was just booted off the platform as well. And he also says this, because I'm hardly the first anti-imperialist journalist to be banned from PayPal for opposing NATO proxy wars, but it's another data point demonstrating the broader weaponization of Western financial services, a kind of micro-sanctions targeting dissident voices. And here's the other person he was talking about. It's Jackson Hinkle, our very own. He says, Jackson said, I've been arbitrarily banned from PayPal and Venmo. This is an attack on my free speech and journalism. You know, Jackson's been very outspoken about the Ukraine war, and he has the correct narrative, and he's pushing back against the propaganda from NATO, the United States, and the corporate media. And so that happened to him. And this is about him telling the truth about Ukraine. They gave him the same bullshit, but they also added Venmo onto Jackson Hinkle. They also banned him from Venmo, and this is what Venmo says. You have a new message. Hi, Jackson Hinkle. We have recently reviewed your usage of Venmo services as reflected in our records. Due to the nature of your activities, we have chosen to discontinue service to you in accordance with Venmo's user agreement. As a result, we have placed a permanent limitation on your account. We ask that you please remove any and all references to Venmo from your website and social media accounts. You may transfer the remaining account balance to your. We thank you in advance for your cooperation.
Crazy.
So, crazy. And then you begged that guy you said, please, I'm begging you to please reinstate my PayPal and Venmo accounts. My biggest donor is trying to support my journalism, but his payments keep getting delayed, and it's Vladdy Daddy. He's trying to send him $5,000, eh?
I should have put rubles on there.
Yes, that's what I was
You should have put
thinking.
rubles.
Hindsight.
You should have put rubles. So what is happening? This guy said in Russian, he says, freedom of press and speech and words and paper is forgotten today. In practice, there is an ever-increasing silence. Only those with a single approach are allowed to speak, even if they have thrown in the trash the credibility of the news from the Ukraine war. So that's a rough translation, but I think we all know what he's saying. It's all over. Free speech is all over.
I'm surprised they haven't come after you yet, Jimmy. Maybe this was like a warning shot at you, considering that I'm on your show so often now. But I mean, I hadn't even talked about this Paul Mason guy yet, and I figured they'd come after you or the Gray Zone by now.
I thought they'd come after the Gray Zone first. I wouldn't go to you first. But they did. They went to you first. I think maybe it would be too obvious if they did it to Gray Zone right now. And maybe I think they did it to you and that, what's that other guy's name? Wyatt Reed?
Wyatt Reed. And then just a few weeks ago, I guess they hit Mint Press News and Alan McLeod, I think his name is.
Oh, really? They got him?
Yeah. Yeah. They got him in mid-May.
So I was, I'm thinking maybe they thought they could do it to, people like you because they don't see you as having that big of a platform and nobody's going to know about it. But I'll help amplify it. And, I'm sure other people are going to help amplify it.
Yeah. It's so nuts because, I mean, this guy, as you covered in the video with Max the other day, he's deranged. He's like a deranged, Russophobic sycophant. But now I can't even use PayPal or Venmo for like personal services. Like if I want to go grab a bite to eat with a friend and Venmo him $20 or something, can't even do that.
No, you can't. You're going to have to start using Zelle. Oh, this is Greek, by the way. This isn't Russian. This is Greek, I was told. Really?
You can say right underneath it says translated from Greek.
Oh, it's just translated from Greek. I thought it looked like Russian. What do I know? It could be Turkish. Right? Could be Hebrew for all I know. I don't know. So you know what they say? It's all Greek to me. Am I right? Come on. But this is the kind of news you will get. Violating its historical neutrality, Switzerland sides with the Russian Federation invaders against defender Ukraine by rejecting Poland's request to transfer Leopard 2A4 main battle tanks from storage. Now, violating its historical neutrality, Michael McKay, I'm sorry, but I don't think you understand what neutrality means. They're remaining neutral. If they would have joined Poland and doing that, that would be the end of their neutrality. If they had taken sides with Ukraine and Poland in this, that would be the end of their neutrality. So isn't that weird? If you don't side with us, you're not neutral. That's really what he's saying. Isn't it what he's saying?
Yeah. I mean, Germany violated their historic neutrality when they decided to start sending weapons into Ukraine, and everyone reported it as such. So I don't know why they're here saying that Switzerland is somehow not being neutral as a result of not involving themselves.
So this is the world we live in now. Guys like this guy here. Let me show him. This guy can get guys like Jackson, the Mint Press, Gray Zone, ourselves. They can cut off our funding. Hey, if we're wrong and we're saying bullshit, why not just debunk us? Why you have the access to all the mainstream newspapers and all the mainstream news outlets. Why not just debunk us?
Mm-hmm. Aaron Mate actually, when he saw that this guy Paul Mason was writing about him and Max Blumenthal, he messaged Paul and said, "Why don't you join me for an episode on my show, Pushback, and we can have a conversation. If you really think I'm wrong, then you can debunk me right then and there on my own show." And that was when, I believe after that email you put up on the screen that Paul Mason sent with the header that read, "I provoked Aaron Mate," he sent that out because he was so proud about the fact that he had provoked Aaron Mate.
Oh, there it is. Paul Mason, I provoked Aaron Mate.
Yeah.
Ah.
So they're proud of this. They probably got emails up right now that say, "I got Jackson Hinkle banned from PayPal. Who's next?"
No, I can guarantee you Paul Mason is not having a good day today. Paul Mason has been outed. He's from the UK. So he's been outed in the UK, and the people on the left in the UK know who he is now because of the leaked email that the Gray Zone published. So he's not over or done, but now everybody knows who he is at least. Everybody knows. Anybody who cares to know knows, and we have the evidence. And he's trying to say that this email was Russian hacked disinformation, that it could be altered, but he won't say if it's altered because it's not. So that's the world we're living in now, and everybody's cheering this on. Everybody cheers on censorship now. So I wonder if you could sue them. Who cares, right? You just move on. You went to, what did you go to? What did you do to, what are you using
I'm on
now?
Locals and Patreon now, so I've directed my audience to support me there if they'd like. But I think there was someone who actually did sue Patreon. Someone sent me an article about it the other day. They were taken off Patreon, they sued them, and now Patreon owes them a lot of money, whatever creator it was. But that sounds like such a hassle. I'm not going to be doing that.
Okay.
And it sounds like this guy has connections up at the top at PayPal that supersede anything that we could do here.
Here, we're doing stand-up comedy in Los Angeles on June 11th, and then we're going to Chicago, Sacramento, and San Diego on July 16th for the taping of my new special. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets. See you there.